Here we go. Again. The 1935 Swiss Grand Prix by Johannes Lacroix. Hello and welcome to another episode of Grand Prix 80th Anniversary. Today is the Swiss Grand Prix. So on the left, the official program. In the center is the Swiss flag along with the Alps. You cannot talk about Switzerland without the Alps, mentioning the Alps in it. And on the right is a picture from one of the runnings of the Grand Prix. This series is a series where I review Grand Prix races that happened exactly 80 years ago, to the day. So this picture is a basic representation of where the people come from. Silver cars come from Germany, red cars come from Italy, and blue cars come from France. During the last episode, we were at the breathtaking city of Pescara for the Coppa Acerbo, which was peculiarly a Ferrari army against the German engineering of Auto Union. So there's a picture from it on the left, or painting. On the right, we have the shoreline of Pescara, pretty much the city itself. But today, we've come to some even more beautiful scenery in the Bernese Alps at the popular Bremgarten circuit for the most affordable race in the championship, the Swiss Grand Prix. The track is slap bang in the Alps. 4.5 miles of simplicity and fun. You can easily get around this track in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Nowadays, though, this track really hasn't been touched since the death of Pierre Levay in 1955. So, yeah. This race is a very popular one because people with a budget as low as 2,000 euros can afford to enter this race. Very much unlike the German or French or Italian GPs, where you might need as little as 7,000 euros to have an eligible entry. But before we come to the Grand Prix, there is the race full of cars half the size of the things that Nuvolari, Caracciola, and Rosemeyer use, and full of younger, less wealthy drivers. There are many teams in this race, such as Pierre Veyron for the Bugatti team, and yes, the Bugatti Veyron was named after this guy. Also, there is the Works ERA team driven by Raymond Mays, as well as Hermann Zuleiningen from Auto Union. Let's show everyone how it's done. We even have Pietro Gersi from Scuderia Subalpina. Anyway, during the race, the ERA privateers Bira and Richard Seaman started on pole position ahead of the Works drivers. It's better than I thought. Yeah, you are quite right, Bira. You're going to do very well. With great starts came a great race. On lap 17, Pierre Veyron was refueled outside of the pits, which disqualified him, and Raymond Mays was almost lapped by the privateers, and Bira and Seaman had managed to come 1-2 in the race. Okay, why are we doing this? Why are we refueling not in our pit stall? You know this disqualifies. I don't know, I guess some idiot decided to do that. Meanwhile, the Works ERA team are a lap down. And yeah. Seems like Richard Seaman has established himself as a very fine driver indeed, since he has managed to use his unsupported ERA to defeat the factory team. And now it's time for the Grand Prix. Or the Grand Prix. Whoops. This race is the 5th race in the European Championship. The previous one being at the Nürburgring in Germany, where legendary Tazio Nuvolari defeated 8 superior German cars on their home turf. There are many paintings from this race, and this was from the German Grand Prix. From that race, this is the current championship standings. With 3 races to go, it's still, well, anybody's championship, really. So Caracciola and Fagioli are pretty far ahead, and surprisingly, so far after 4 races, Goffredo Zander has proven himself to do very well. He's tied with Manfred von Brauchitsch, but he's completed way more distance than von Brauchitsch has. And in 5th is Tazio Nuvolari, winner of that race. He had a otherwise insignificant season, but this is turning out to be really great, along with his colleagues Louis Chiron and René Dreyfus. And in 8th, remarkable for a privateer driver who doesn't have much money, Raymond Sommer. He's 8th in the championship, doing very well. And the entry list from this race is just as big as that one, with 20 people on the list. All the usual people are here: Mercedes-Benz, Auto Union, Ferrari, and Philippe Tancelin with Scuderia Subalpina. However, it doesn't seem like the Bugatti team is here for the Grand Prix race, as we just saw. Pierre Veyron has been disqualified from the Voiturette race. We've been DSQ already, we don't want to risk the GP race either. I guess that's right. No matter, we have Lord Earl Howe, one of Britain's biggest racers, as a private entry driving the same Bugatti the official works team uses, the Type 59. Welcome to the British Bugatti team! So he's one of 4 British people who were able to have a Type 59. And I guess he's pretty lucky. Otherwise, the only major team driver who won't be here today, is Eugenio Siena, which means the Siena-Barbieri duel won't happen today. During the practice session, Hans Geyer lost control of his Mercedes-Benz at 150 miles an hour. This resulted in a crash with the timekeeper box, which ended his life as a racing driver. Disappointing. That means we've lost one of the catchphrases. Is it warm in here, or this cockpit is getting annoying? With this unfortunate crash, Mercedes-Benz have now promoted Hermann Lang to an even higher rank, official reserve driver. Yay! I can't wait until I'm promoted to actual race driver. Hermann Lang is definitely stepping up. He was von Braukitsch's mechanic, now he's a racing driver. Now, today we have a logical starting order because it was determined by fastest practice lap, as it always should be. And now, let's get to it. In row 1, we have Achille Varzi, the Auto Union B, winner of the Coppa Acerbo last week. I'm going to continue this winning streak. He did it in 2 minutes 41.8, and then behind him is Rudolf Caracciola, 2 minutes 42.8, just 1 second off. Not so fast, Auto Union. Caracciola's definitely trying to uphold the honor of Mercedes-Benz here. While Heinz Stuck's Auto Union is on front row again, 2 minutes 43.6. This is the 5th time I've been on front row. That's actually true. Avus, Eiffel, France, the French Grand Prix, the German Grand Prix, and now the Swiss Grand Prix. That is 3 championship races on front row. That's very good. And in row 2 we have Luigi Fagioli, 2 minutes 44.2. It's a German warfare in qualifying. And as it turns out, Fagioli is correct, because look at this pattern that's going on. Oops. That was a mistake there. So there's this pattern going on. It's Auto Union, Mercedes-Benz, Auto Union, Mercedes-Benz, and it continues. Bernd Schrossmeyer, age 27, and I could possibly win. He's 2 minutes 45.3. He's definitely very consistent. And in row 3, I'm sorry, you might have seen that, but Hermann Lang. Wow, this thing is continuing. This pattern continues. Yeah, it's Mercedes-Benz, Auto Union, Mercedes-Benz. 2 minutes 48.2. I'm really excited for this one. This is his first time to be a proper rank rather than a mechanic. And then we have the Ferraris, or Alfa Romeo Tipo Bs of New Volare and René Dreyfus. 6 Germans ahead of us. Reckon we could do it? In 2 minutes 49.1. I think you know where that comes from. René Dreyfus says, of course we can. And he did it in 2 minutes 50.2. In row 4, Manfred von Braukitsch is 2 minutes 50.8. Why am I down here and not up there? Well, peculiarly, he managed to come behind 2 Alfa Romeo P3s, 2 minutes 50.8 seconds, and then behind him is Louis Chiron in the another Alfa Romeo P3, I must not get worn out today. Now, that's in reference to the times that, like, in the Coppa Acerbo and the Belgian Grand Prix, he runs out of stamina by the end of the race, or before it, and therefore he can't finish the race, or he feels absolutely exhausted. And in row 5, the rest of the times are unknown. Giuseppe Farina, returning from episodes 1 and 2. Make way for Nuvolari's apprentice! And then Lord Earl Howe in the Bugatti Type 59. The British Bugatti team returns. Now, Felipe Tanzlan and Giuseppe Farina are not driving for the same team. Farina is driving for Gino Roveri, and Tanzlan is driving for the actual Subalpina team. He has nothing to say. And in row 6 we have Mr. Hungary, Laszlo Hartmann, in his Maserati, and Brian Lewis. Although we have different cars, I'm joining Mr. Howe in the Maserati 8CM. Well, Mr. Howe is driving for the British Bugatti team. You can't do that since you're in a Maserati. It doesn't make much sense. And in the final row we have Raymond Sommer in his Alfa Romeo P3. Blue Alpha Power has returned. Very nice way to say it. And then Renato Balestrero in his Maserati 26M. His time is unknown. Then we have Ferdinando Barbieri in his Alfa Romeo P3. Many P3s here today. The time is unknown. Screw Wojciech. Let's do Grand Prix. I guess that's in reference to the fact that he was on the entry list for both Wojciech and Grand Prix racing, and he withdrew from the Wojciech race in the last minute. So he's in the Grand Prix race instead. And they're off. The race began in horrible rain, which is Rudolf Caracciolla's favorite. With this, he immediately took up a commanding lead. There's already a 4-second lead in the first corner. Yes, Caracciola is doing a very good job. After a few laps, Heinz Stuck easily followed him, until one of his tires burst, which meant he'd have to stop to do a lap on his rims until he could stop to replace it. Holy cow, that shocked me. Yep, the tires exploded. Means that, well, yeah. But no need to worry about Auto Union, because Rosemeyer steps right up to take his place. It's team leader versus team leader. The Eifelrennen once again. So, yeah, it seems like he's doing just as well as he hoped. On lap 20, so the lap 20 leaderboard. And we have Rudolf Caracciola having a 45-second lead ahead of Bernd Rosemeyer. That's gaining more than 2 seconds per lap. Yeah, he's doing the same kind of lap times that you would do without rain, while everyone else is wound up. Fagioli, 1.5 minutes off, and Nuvolari is about a minute off of Fagioli. He's doing a very nice job, doing really well in the road holding, and he's keeping ahead of his nemesis Achille Varzi, 1 lap ahead. Varzi has already been lapped, and there's only 4 people. Rosemeyer would stay there for a while until Fagioli overtook him. Yes, you are no match for us. Yes, I guess Mercedes-Benz are always ahead of Auto Union. Further towards the back, there is a good-natured duel between Manfred von Brauchitsch and Louis Chiron. Now, I know the events in this are kind of outdated, or out of order, but I will fix that next time. Face it, you're outdated! Yeah. The P3 is 3 years old, that is 1 year old. Both of them are outdated. In fact, the Auto Unions are the newest chassis on the grid. But Chiron's more outdated than von Brauchitsch. Yeah. Von Brauchitsch seemed to be correct, because since it was pouring with rain and the track was slippery, Chiron slid out of control and crashed. But luckily, he was unharmed. You know what? Maybe he's right. And that is 7 points to Louis Chiron. A bit disappointing. It's a very similar story for Laszlo Hartmann's Maserati, as it has not much grip either. So, Laszlo Hartmann crashes into the fence while Lord Earl Howe passes by. And the live leaderboard from lap 40 brought to you by AIACR Radio. And so there is a very, very close, fierce battle for second between Fagioli and Rosemeyer. Well, Caracciola in a class of his own. Rosemeyer is doing a very good job of leading Varzi ahead. I guess it's a story of Auto Union's life, really. 2 Mercedes-Benzes, 2 Auto Unions. And then Nuvolari has been lapped as well, and Hermann Lang, which has been lapped twice, but he's come up to 6th place. Caracciola has built up a commanding lead, but now Neubauer has told him to ease off a little. Meanwhile, Fagioli was trying to catch up to Caracciola and surprise him. Coming to get you, Rudolph. Definitely. Who knows? Fagioli's not as good in the rain, though. However, Rudolph was informed by Neubauer that Fagioli was coming, so he was prepared. With that, he used the rainy weather to his advantage and sped up. Sorry, Luigi, I'm winning it this year. He looks well on course towards winning it. Because of this, there's nothing that Fagioli can do to close the gap. And this is another event that's out of order. I'll get this fixed next week. Meanwhile, there is a bit of chaos in the pit. Heinz Stuck's engine is having problems, and so is von Brauchitsch. Stuck gave his car to Paul Pietsch, and von Brauchitsch gave up. That's 7 points to von Brauchitsch. Why is it so complicated? I guess you can say von Brauchitsch was the Jeremy Clarkson of his time, because I guess he gets rather annoyed by problems that are easy to fix, and he destroys cars. All of his cars are always in a cloud of steam. Yeah, nice comparison there. A little bit later, Paul, I need a rest. Take it. Okay, sure. Okay, I'll do it. So that's it for this race. With the weather in Caracciola's favor, he has brought his Mercedes-Benz to a fine victory, and the 3rd one this season. Yes, and now it's clearing up. Yeah, that's a nice way to introduce it there. Yeah, doing very well there. The Mercedes-Benz team have easily defeated the Auto Unions that come home in 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, Nuvo finishes in the best place he can manage, 5th. At least I finished with dignity. And this will be his last appearance in an Alfa Romeo P3. He has been driving it for 3 years. Yeah, it's a long time. With the race finish from Heinz Stuck, he will definitely advance a few positions in the standings. Yes, that's exactly what I need. And now, let's see the results from the race. So Caracciola won that race. He got 1 point from 3.5 hours of driving. And, I guess, story of the life for Auto Union, Fagioli finished ahead of them and got 2 points. Already a point behind him. He's now 2 points behind him after 36 seconds off. Rosemeyer managed to stay ahead, managed to stay on the lead lap at 1 minute 8 seconds off, still doing very well. And Achille Varzi, a very reliable season. This is his third race where he's entered so far this year, and he's managed to finish in all of them. He's 1 lap down there, he got 4 points. Rosemeyer got 3. Nuvolari got 4 points, and you'll see why that's very good. He was 2 laps off, and Hermann Lang was 3 laps off. He also got, everyone gets 4 points. Rene Dreyfus was 4 points off, and Giuseppe Farina was only a few positions behind his apprentice, was 6 laps off. Yeah, doing well. And then, in 9th, Raymond Sommer, in his privately entered Alfa P3, 7 laps off, and I must say he did very well there. And Lord Earl Howe, who, even though he was racing as a private entry, the British Bugatti team was brought to 10th place, 10 laps off. And Heinz Stuck was 13 laps behind, I guess because it took him a very long time to fix the engine problem, and Paul Pietsch took his place. But Heinz Stuck gets the points. So yes, it's 4 points for him. And yeah, he just barely managed to stay within the... Yeah. Renato Balestrero was extremely lucky, driving for Gruppo San Giorgio. He was literally one lap away from getting 5 points rather than 4. This car is definitely outdated. And Laszlo Hartmann, whose private entry crashed at 6 points distance, at 30% distance, I don't know. And then everything else is 7 points. Ferdinando Barbieri, racing for Franco Sardi, had a plug problem with 7 points off. And then Manfred von Brauchitsch and Louis Chiron, von Brauchitsch had an engine problem, and Chiron had crashed with 7 points gone. And Brian Lewis, racing for Earl Howe, had a mechanical problem very early into the race, 7 points. And poor Philippe Tanslem will lose positions in this race. He crashed, which means 7 points to him. Not the best, but yeah. And now that we've seen the results, here are the current championship standings from the race. So Rudolf Caracciola is now 2 points ahead of Luigi Fagioli, and it looks like Mercedes-Benz have locked up the title for this year. With 2 races to go, only these two can win the title. Nuvolari, Dreyfus, von Brauchitsch, Sommer, Zander, Chiron, Varzi, Rosmeier, none of them can win. It's down to Caracciola and Fagioli for winning it. Meanwhile, Nuvolari and Dreyfus had reliable finishes, bringing them to 3rd and 4th in the championship. While von Brauchitsch remains in the top 5, even though he didn't do well, yeah. And yeah, Raymond Sommer, phenomenally great for an independent racing driver. He's in 6th ahead of all the auto unions, Louis Chiron and Goffredo Zander, doing very well a job. And Zander did not participate in this race, so he's dropping behind. And then Louis Chiron, unlucky, got 28 points, so now he's down to 3 positions behind his colleagues. And then behind him are the auto unions, who are steadily making their way through. With 2 races to go, they might be able to make it. Achille Varzi is in 9th, tied with his old friend, and Bernd Rosmeier is doing very well. Same with Heinz Stuck. All the auto unions are catching up slowly, but I don't know if it's enough. After listening to the Nazi and Italian anthems for the drivers on the podium, we wrap up our broadcast of the 1935 Swiss Grand Prix. Up next in the European Championship is the one that everyone is waiting for, the Grand Prix of all Grand Prix races, the Italian Grand Prix, at the legendary circuit of Monza. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, or the subscribe button, or leave a comment. I'll see you at Monza. This is me signing out.